From LPM,
Louisville Public Media.
Support for this podcast comes from LG&E, with a reminder that the warning signs of a gas leak are the smell of rotten eggs, dead plants near healthy plants, or a hissing sound. Leave immediately and call 911. More gas safety tips at lge-ku.com/gas safety.
How can I help you today?
Hey, I need to talk about my loan.
No problem.
So I got the email. Sandy Spring Bank is becoming
Atlantic Union Bank. That's right.
And will you still be
Your banker? Of course.
More branches and ATMs?
Way more.
Still community driven?
Still live here, still give here.
Mobile app?
Easy. Everything right at your fingertips.
And what about my business?
Always here to help you reach your goals.
Sandy Spring Bank is becoming Atlantic Union Bank, October 2025. Same bankers you love with even more to offer.
Welcome to On Track with LPM. I'm Michelle Tyreen Johnson. Americana Community Center has served Louisville's refugee and immigrant communities for over 30 years. Last month, the nonprofit hired Ricky Santiago to be its new executive director. Santiago talked with me about the financial challenges Americana has weathered, his hopes for future sustainability, and the resurgence he believes the organization is making. You just started at Americana Community Center.
Yes, I did.
So where did you come from before?
So I was a digital inclusion manager for the city of Louisville. I was a public employee.
For how long?
9 years.
All right.
Well, in that role, I was 6 years. And then about 2.5 years, I was the program manager for the Office for Globalization, which is now Immigrant Affairs.
So you were working in that area before you came to Americana?
Yes, correct. And actually, I have a master's in organizational leadership. And my thesis is community or immigrant community organizations as a workforce solution. And I also have a certificate in human rights.
Ooh, nice. So what does it mean for you to be in charge of Americana?
Oh, my God. Americana is such an iconic institution, right? It's an honor to serve. I consider the founder, Edgardo Mancilla, a mentor and a friend. I'm lucky enough to call him that. So be able to just follow in that professional footstep as a Latino leader in the city is an honor. There's a lot of work to be done. I tell the staff all the time, we're going to bring a commitment to excellence to bring the organization back to where it used to be. And I think we're heading in the right direction. And the gala was a great display of that we're heading in the right direction. We don't have to hide. We had an SOS campaign. We weren't the community wasn't sure if Americana was going to be around for the gala. But not only did we have a successful gala, let me share to you what happened. I took over October 20th, and we had 80 tickets sold. We ended with about 340 tickets sold by the time on November 8th, by the time the gala rolled around. And not only were we profitable, we increased 16% our donations.
Wow. What do you attribute that to?
I think it's a bit of a change of culture, right, in the organization. Also, new leadership, and just continue to foster those relationships. The people that know me, I know we are just getting to know each other, but I think the people that know me know that I'm very personable. People have my cell phone; they can call me. I'll answer the phone, and I think bringing back joy to the organization after the events that happen. It's important. It's important to me to have a happy, healthy staff, and I'm very protective of my staff, right? So I transmit that to them, and I know that if they work hard for me, I'm going to work hard for them, and I'm also going to protect them. So that's something I'm trying to transmit to them.
So about how many people work at Americana?
So we have about 4 full-time staff now, and we have about 6 part-time staffers. But of course, we're going through a sort of reorganization. But I think we're heading in the right direction to be where we used to be.
And I know that the organization has been around 30 plus years, around 30 years?
Yes, 30 plus years.
And how many people do you think you serve?
We serve thousands of people a year. During our diaper drive alone, we serve hundreds of families in need of diapers. We do diaper drives from the diaper bank on Fridays at 10 a.m. So we distribute those. So anyway from 6,000 to 8,000 families a year.
You have a diaper drive every Friday?
Every Friday.
That's
at 10 a.m.
amazing. Wow.
Yep.
Wow. I can imagine that that's pretty popular.
It is. It is. We have families coming in on Thursdays asking for it. And, you know, when we're opening the doors at 9 a.m., they come in and ask for it. We want to build on top of that. One of the things that I've understood as a former public employee is that we shouldn't work in silos. So we are working diligently to, okay, this diaper box shouldn't just be a diaper box. It should be a wealth of information. So can I put, for example, the Dolly Parton Imagination Library application on it? Can I put information about Thrive by 5? Can I put information? It's like, how can we turn this box into a vessel of information? We're in the business of people. And every touch point is important, and we need to maximize our touch points with people.
And when you say people, who exactly do you all serve?
So we serve everyone, right? One of the big campaigns that we're working on trying to roll out next year is Americana for All. But in our core, in our DNA, we are an immigrant service organization. Those are our core programs. But anyone can come to Americana and get services. We have a youth development program that's very successful and still has opening. So it's after school, starts around 3:30. We feed them as well. And we have wonderful partners like Louisville Folk School and Evolve 502 that are doing a wonderful job with the children as well.
So with government money, particularly federal government money, just to be blunt, drying up, going through changes.
It's the nature of the times.
The nature of the times. What is your primary focus in terms of financial sustainability?
We need to refocus our shift into our donors. It is what it is. I can't wave a magic wand, but there's also the opportunity to continue to foster those relationships with the donors. I think what Americana has is a trusted name, a valued name, right, with a long history in the community of doing great work. And we need to bank on that. And we need to bring our donors into the doors, make sure that they're part of our family and not just, they're not just a check, right? Because in reality, these are social investors. They want to see a change into their community, right? They may not have the time or the capacity to do it, so they're trusting us to do it. And, you know, we have to deliver that. But that there's a passion there. That every dollar is a passionate give to the organization, is a trust to the organization. So we need to bring them in, and that is going to be our focus for the transition.
We're at a moment in time where the issues of primarily the immigrants that you serve are in the spotlight more than ever. How does that impact how you all are existing?
I can tell you how I'm going to lead. That I think that's the best way I can respond to this question. The best way I can respond is we need to don't worry about the noise. The work will speak for itself, right? And we need to continue to have success stories. We have currently one of our board members. It's an incredible story of empowerment. She came as a young woman to Louisville. Her name is Jenny Gutierrez. She came to Americana for ESL help, for a bunch of other services about 20 years ago. She's now the owner of JD Creative. And her daughter is also wanting to be part of the organization. She's like, I'll intern, I'll do whatever. But the passion of that story and how she's transmitting that passion to her daughter. So her daughter got her classmates to donate 16 canvases to our gala that helped us fundraise. So we need to have 1,000 Jennies. We need to have 2,000 Jennies, because that is one story, 2 stories, 3 stories, 4 stories to help cut through the noise.
You know, a lot of what we see in the news, in other cities mostly, right, is about immigrants being scared. Their space not feeling safe, being afraid to go out to the simplest of errands. Are you seeing that much with Americana, with the people who you serve?
So I can tell you our service level hasn't dropped. I can say that there is confusion in the community as far as who's who. But we continue to serve. I mean, unfortunately, we had to put a pause to our ESL, GD, and digital skills programs, but we don't get stopped getting calls. You know, one of the things that I instructed my staff is that let's track the calls, because that's going to be our main ask coming up. That's a foundational program. The calls don't stop, and it's imperative that we stand up those programs because of that.
Why did you have to pause?
Well, the constraints of where the organization was and the nature of the nonprofit space. But I'm adamant about bringing it back, because my thesis and what I'm good at is within workforce development and economic development. So that is a foundational program that we can build upon.
What do you think makes Americana different than other similarly placed organizations?
So I think Americana had a whole human approach. You know, we not only empower the adults, but we empower the children as well. And what you see at Americana is this incredible dynamic where people have spent their entire lives at Americana. And we want to see more of that, but not because they have to, but because they want to. So, for example, like our development director, she was a youth in our program. And she then became a youth staff, a family coordinator, or a family coach to development coordinator, and now development director. So, you know, just told you a story about Jenny. I told you the story of Haja. Like, the people that want to work at Americana is because we had this whole human approach, whole family approach, right? Not just a one-time service, but serving the entire person with dignity and beyond.
Where are you located?
We're located 4801 Southside Drive. We're actually the former Holy Rosary School.
All right. And what part of town is that in?
That's in the Beachmont neighborhood.
Okay, great. So what is the big vision that drives you as the new executive director?
The big vision that drives me. That's a big question.
What is it you're most passionate about pursuing as the new executive director?
What I'm most passionate about pursuing is about in my current role, I understood the necessity for technology. Technology is not everything, but in the conversations that I've had along the way, the lack of internet is a social health determinant. The lack of digital skills is an economic and workforce development issue. Basic digital skills are hard to learn for people that are coming back into the workforce. especially if you've been 6 years, however long you were a refugee in that transition period, if you've been incarcerated, if you were out of the workforce and trying to come back as an elderly, where do you go to learn that? Where do you go to empower yourself that? So I want to take Americana in not just the 21st century, but the 22nd century, to make sure that our families are prepared to face the digital divide, the wealth gap, the job gap, the transportation gap, and social health determinants of health, all these things that sort of fit together like a puzzle. And that's why the whole human approach and empowerment of the individual is important.
Great. So my last question is this. What do you think, besides the obvious, which is money, that Americana most needs to be here 30 years from now?
Of course. Well, number one is money, but we also need dedicated. We have a wonderful board, but we need dedicated board members and volunteers, right? I think that with the flux that the organization was in, the amount of volunteers have been reduced as well as staff, and volunteering is so important to me. I make it a point to say hello and shake everybody's hand that comes in and volunteers, because from where we were to where we want to go, we're going to go because our volunteers donated their time. And I make it's no small feat to volunteer. We're all so busy. We're all, everyone is fighting for time. And to actually go work for free for an organization, it's a big ask. So the very least that they deserve is to hear from the person in charge that I appreciate you and I appreciate the talents that you bring to our organization.
Well, that seems like a good way to end this by saying, I appreciate you coming in to talk to me about all of this.
Thank you for the opportunity, Michelle. I appreciate it.
This has been great. Thank you so much. On Track is produced by Louisville Public Media. Our production team includes Aisha Jaffer, Laura Ellis, and me, with assistance from Alex Biscardi. Our music is by Kojin Toshiro. Find more at LouisvilleOnTrack.org. Thanks for listening.
Support for this podcast comes from LG&E and KU, who know that when the lights go out, it can feel like a full court press. But staying in the know is an easy win. Update your phone number in the LG&E and KU mobile app or in My Account. If the power goes out, you'll get play-by-play text from 454-358 with outage updates, safety information, and time estimates for power restoration. Can't text? No problem. They'll call the landline on your account with the same updates, so you're never left in the dark. More at lgne-ku.com/outages.
Hi, I'm Morgan Sung, host of Close All Tabs from KQED, where every week we reveal how the online world collides with everyday life.
But that was so fun that it fried my dopamine receptors.
There was this 6-foot cartoon otter who came out from behind a curtain.
It actually really matters that driverless cars are going to mess up in ways that humans wouldn't.
I think we will see a Twitch streamer president maybe within our lifetimes.
You can find Close All Tabs wherever you listen to podcasts.